beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina, I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video I'm bringing you my update on my Team Project pan, my full face rolling project pan that I've been working on this year. I have a lot going on in here, so if you want to see how I'm going on these products then stay tuned. But before we get into the video, if you are new around here and you love watching project panning related content, make sure you subscribe down below, and without further ado, let's jump on into the update. So my Team Project pan is my full face rolling project pan that I do every year. In this project I focus on basically like almost a product from every category, also including like fragrances, body care and hair care. Throughout the year this year I've been working on a wide range of products, and as it's getting like closer towards the end of the year, my like number or volume of products that I'm working on at once is just like diminishing. There's a lot that I'm like not replacing. I've decided to just like phase them out as we're getting closer towards the end of the year. So I'm very happy with the progress that I'm making on these products. I've come to the realization that there are a few products that I'm just not going to get done by the end of the year, but I'm going to continue to work on them and just try and get a lot of use on them before the end of the year. So I am going to go through my spreadsheet, and at the top of the spreadsheet is my foundations. So I am currently working on 2 foundations. I'm working on both of these because I actually mix them when I use them. So I'm currently working on the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation, and I'm also working on my MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation. So that's what's in these 2. My Juvia's Place I have been working on for only a month, and since introduction I have only used 3.21 grams of this one. I'm actually really happy with the amount of usage just in 1 month, but it's quite low given that I mix these. I mix these because this is like really pale. I very much so grabbed the wrong color when I made the purchase of this one, and I tried it without mixing one day and it was so pale on me. And I mean, I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to say that before, but it is really quite pale. So I actually mix it with my MAC Face and Body. I also mix it with my MAC Face and Body because it's quite a thick, heavy foundation. So I like the consistency that this comes out to when I actually mix both of these. Also with my MAC Face and Body, I did use 2.33 grams of this one, and I have actually managed to make another little line. I feel like it's almost maybe like once every 2 to 3 months that I manage to make another line. It's very slow and steady on my MAC Face and Body. I'm still using it. It's actually really kind of like a perfect foundation that I always go back to for kind of mixing when I feel like a foundation isn't quite working for me, or like the consistency and the formula isn't quite working for me. I feel like I can just go back to the MAC Face and Body and mix it, and it turns out to be like a really nice kind of formula, and the way it sits on my skin is always quite nice. I don't think I'm going to have the Juvia's Place finished until maybe like April next year or something. I want to say, because I'm only using quite a small amount each time, and this is like one of the mega tubes. This was like a 30 ml tube or something, 35, I don't even know, 40 ml. This is a 40 ml tube because it says 30% bonus. So it's going to take me a while to get through both of those. Then we have my concealer, and I'm currently only working on one concealer. It is my Glossier Stretch Concealer. I have the color G12. Now I only use 0.5 of a gram of this one, but I do feel like maybe I'm getting close to hitting pan. I don't know whether you can see right down in the bottom there, it's starting to flatten out the dip, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's getting to the point where I'm going to see a tiny little bit of pan peeking through. That being said though, I have been like more focusing my sponge around the outside lately, just to try and level down the sides a little bit, just so it's not so cavernous, I guess, in there. But I still don't love this concealer, but it's all right for an everyday concealer. It's not so like, I guess, heavy for an everyday concealer. I can just like throw a little bit on and go, but I definitely wouldn't repurchase it because it does crease on me. I paid good money for it, so I'm just gonna work through it and get it used up. I'm currently working on 2 powders. So I have my Juvia's Place face powder and I have my Pat McGrath under eye setting powder. My Pat McGrath under eye setting powder, I used 0.13 of a gram over the last month, and I reckon I'm gonna have a pan hit on this one between now and the next update. Right in the center there, when I look at it, certain angles I can see like the tiniest little bit of like a pan peeking through. And I do believe that the pan on this one is similar to the Hourglass pans. So I think I'm going to see, I reckon I'm going to see pan by the next update. If I continue to like focus my brush in the center there, I definitely think I'm going to have pan on that one. And then my Juvia's Place powder, it's still holding on. I don't have much left. I only have like a little bit up here and then some around the edge here and then a tiny little bit over here. I used 2.72 grams of this one over the last month. I think this one's going to be finished by the next update. Yeah, there's not much left in there. I reckon maybe a couple of weeks and this one will be done. The bits that are left, it's kind of like a little bit of a mound on this edge here. So I do think I'll get, you know, a handful more uses out of it, but it's definitely going to be finished sometime soon, and that's exciting. I think when I finish that one, I think I'm going to treat myself to a new powder, maybe, because the only other powder I have in my collection that I would use for all over face setting is my, what brand is it? It's House Labs. That's what it's called, is my House Labs powder. But I like to pair my House Labs powder with my House Labs foundation. I feel like they're kind of made to go together. So I don't want to use my powder with these foundations and then not have the powder to go with the House Labs foundation when I'm ready to work on that one. So I think I'm going to go and treat myself to a new face powder to use with the other foundations in my collection once the Juvia's Place is finished. Then we have my eyeshadow primer, and I'm continuing to work on this one. I'm continuing to chip away at it. I use 0.4 grams of this one. This one is taking forever. When I look at how we started the year, we were sitting at 21.89 grams. We're now sitting at 19.14 grams. How much have I actually used since the start of the year? Okay, so I've used a total of 2.75 grams since the start of the year, and this has 8 grams total. So we still have a very long way to go. We are not even halfway yet, apparently, on this one, which is insane. That is absolutely insane. I've been working on that eyeshadow primer since February. No, since the start of the year. I've been working on that eyeshadow primer since the start of the year. Like 12 months almost of progress and working on it, and I haven't even used up half of the product yet. That is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Speaking of not even using up half of the product yet, next we have my Benefit Browsing. I feel like every time I update this, I feel like I've made less and less progress. So this is what it's looking like now. I did manage to get this like corner completely cleared out and used up. So that's what it's looking like now. Over the last month, I used 0.03 of a gram of this one, which I just feel like that can't be true. I feel like surely I've used more than that. That is ridiculous, and I am very mad by how little that number is. I've used it every single time I've done my makeup, and for it to be that low in the number, I am really annoyed. Then we have lip products. Now in this project, I only have 2 lip products left. Throughout the year, I've been working on different lipsticks and whatnot, but as we're getting towards the end of the year, I'm slowly like cutting it back. So I still have my Too Faced Spice Spice Baby lipstick in the project. And last month I introduced one of my Bare Minerals Marvelous Moxie lip glosses. This is in the shade Superstar. I rotated in the Marvelous Moxie lip gloss because past experience has showed I've been able to get through these reasonably quickly when I've used them regularly. And I think that sentiment is staying consistent, which I'm very happy to say that. But my Too Faced lipstick, I'm also making great progress on this one. So I've actually used it to the point where it's now at the bottom of the bullet. I can't wind this up anymore. So I'm now actually like scooping into it, if that makes sense. So I've started using a lip brush with this one. I was planning on using up the rest of this just as a cream blush, but I've decided, because the products that I'm currently using as a cream blush, I still have 2 that I'm trying to use up before the end of the year. So just to introduce another lipstick into that, it's just too much. So I'm going to continue to use this as a lipstick, and I think given that it's like a creamy formula, I'm hoping that if I do that, I will just find it easy still to get through what's left quite quickly, even if I'm just using a lip brush for that purpose. And in terms of weight, I've used 0.86 of a gram of this one. That can't be right. I've actually used the same weight on both of these, which is really weird. I've used the same weight on both of these over the last month. So I've also used 0.86 of a gram on my lip gloss, and this one was full when I rotated it in, and this is where the lip gloss is sitting now when it settles. So if I can continue that progress, I definitely think that I will have this one finished before the end of the year, which is very exciting. It's very, very exciting. They're like the last ditch effort to try and get another lip product out of my collection. I mean, call me crazy, but I'll do what I can do, because my lip collection is just out of control. So I need to stop buying lip oils, because that's my current obsession, and like really focus on what I have in my collection. And that's my plan, I think, for next year, is to just really heavily focus on my lip collection, and I want to try and get a lot of lip products out of my collection next year. That's the plan, at least. Whether I execute it or not is another thing entirely. So that is how much progress I've made, and if I can get this one done really quickly, I think maybe I have another 1 or 2 Bare Minerals lip glosses in my collection. It might entice me to rotate it in sometime next year if I know that I can get them done really quickly. Moving along to nail polishes. Guess what? Guess what? I am so happy to report that this sucker is finally finished. This guy is finally finished. So this is where it was sitting last month, and I had the tiniest little bit, and I've used it up. This one took me far too long to get through. It took me far too long to work on this year, but I am so happy to report that I finally have this cuticle oil finished. It's done, it's dusted. It is going out of my collection. It can stop falling over from the slightest bit of wind through my window onto the floor. It's, you know when some products just give you the most satisfying feeling when you use them up? That is definitely one of them. That's, oh my gosh. And my other nail polish product that I've been working on is my Holo Taco One Coat Black. I've only used this like once since the last update. So in terms of progress, I've used 0.31 of a gram of this one. So I'm not really like in any desperate urge to try and use up another nail polish before the end of the year. But I definitely want to utilize this to try and get some usage up on some of my eyeshadows that I currently have in my other project pans. Fragrances is another exciting category this month. So I have been working on 4 like mini size perfumes. Last month, I think I rolled out a perfume. I think last month I finished up, last month I finished up the Ellis Brooklyn perfume, and then the Byredo Blanche perfume became my like next target perfume. And as you can see there, I have managed to use this one up. That line at the bottom there is where it was last month, and now it is finished. So there is that one done. And then I also finished up, I sadly finished up my Mason Francis, or I'm just going to say Mason Paris Aqua Celestia Cologne Forte or Fort. Unfortunately, I didn't finish this one. That's where it was last month, and I'm very sad to report it is now finished. It's done. I'm gonna miss this one. It smells so good. It smells so good. I know that some people probably think I'm crazy for enjoying this, but I just really like how unique it is and like quirky. My friend smelled that the other day and she was kind of like, yeah, I don't really understand what you're talking about. But I think it's amazing. I love it. So we only have 2 perfumes left in the perfume category. So my Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Crush Body Mist and the Plumes by DS and Durga. So the Plumes I actually have used a little bit. I have been able to make a little mark, but it is still ridiculous how little I have used of this one. I've been using it, I was gonna say fairly regularly, but like semi not regularly. So I've used 0.3 of a gram of this one, and I think I only used it maybe like 3 or 4 times, and the level actually was noticeably less. So it's kind of motivating, but this one is quite a strong perfume. I find sometimes I'm just not in the mood for it. Sometimes it's just too much for me. So it's definitely one going forward that's probably going to take me a while to get through, just because I find sometimes it can just be, it's just like a lot. And then my Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Crush Body Mist, this is how much I've used of this one. So that's that line there, and then that's the new line. So I don't know whether I'm going to get this one done by the end of the year, but it definitely will be very close to being finished. If I use this as like the sole perfume over the next like couple of months and only use this one a little bit, then I think maybe I could definitely have it finished. But I want to try and share the love a little bit, so we shall see. But in any event, it'll be really close to being finished when we finalize the project. But over the last month, I used 7.73 grams of that one. Moving into hair products. Now, I only have 3 hair care products left in the project. So I have the Juice Stuck Up Stronghold hair spray or hairspray. I have actually been using this one a little bit over the last month, just with my like curly hair. I have been using it just a little bit, like fractionally. Probably not enough to have it finished by the end of the year, but I've used it a little bit. And then we have the NAC Dry Clean Shampoo, and the last one is the Davines Curl Building Serum. So let's start off with the hairspray. So I haven't updated you guys on this one since maybe like July. I've used 3.97 grams of this one since then. I think most of that has come from the last month though, so we're seeing a little bit of progress. Then we have my dry shampoo. I've used 14.48 grams of this one. It still has a little bit left in there, but it's getting very low, so I do think that one will be done next month. And the one that I've made incredible progress on is my Davines Curl Building Serum. So with my new like trying to get the natural curl back, I am actually using this quite a lot more. So I've used 17.84 grams of this one since the last update. The total weight of this one is now sitting at 115.31 grams. So if I'm able to like repeat the 17 grams again this next month, I will have this one under 100 grams in total, which was like my ultimate goal for the year. But I am going to continue to use this one like right through to December, because if I keep up with that kind of progress, maybe I might actually get finished potentially by the end of the year. But I also wanted to say, I think I might end up using more of this one, because I went to the hairdresser the other day and she used like a lot of product on my hair. So I think that I might not be using enough of this on my hair each time. So the next few times I do my hair, I'm going to try and use more and see if I actually get like a better result, because I think potentially am not using enough of this on my hair each time. I just, with somebody that has like fine hair, the thought of like using a lot of product on my hair is terrifying. But when I went to the hairdresser and she styled my hair like naturally with my natural curls, she used a lot of product. And I was like, girl, are you sure? And she was like, trust the process. Trust me. Just trust the process and it's gonna work. And she was right, but it was like a terrifyingly large amount of product. Like for me, that I just like do like a little pea size and I'm like, oh my God, that's gonna be too much. It was a lot. Then I have a bucket load of samples. I've been trying to like increase my amount of sample usage because I'm currently sitting at 72 in total this year. So I only have 28 left to go and I will hit my 100. So I'm trying to get them done and I'm trying to like find samples that I can use because I don't know whether I actually have 28 more samples that I can use up between now and the end of the year. So I'm trying to find ones that are like squirreled away or ones that I've like gotten recently in beauty loot boxes and stuff like that to use up. So let's go through and see what they are. So I've used up 2 more of the Dr. Dennis Gross Universal Daily Peels. I think last month I used up the other one. I think I got 3 of them and this was the last lot of them. I used up 4 of these Running Bear. They were like little refresh like towelettes. So there's 4 there. I have another sample of the Sol de Janeiro Bum Bum Body Oil. The Weleda One Step Cleanse and Tone. That was terrible. The Hamilton Gentle Wash Skin Therapy Gentle Wash. Then we have the CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. This was actually, I used it as a hand cream. Ended up being really nice. Dr. Jart Ceramide Skin Barrier Moisturizing Cream. Wella Fusion Intense Repair Hair Mask. I think it's Tiami. Vita A Bakuchiol Youth Serum. And last but not least is the MAC Studio Radiance foundation, which I actually think I want to get this one in a full size, but I need to use up one of my 6 million foundations that I currently have in my collection. The last thing that I wanted to mention is I am going to rotate in my Isle of Paradise Light Self Tanning Drops. I don't have much left of this one, but I am going to rotate it into the project because I just find that I'm like always finding an excuse or I'm always forgetting about using it. So I do really want to have this one finished up by the end of the year because it is getting like quite old. So I want to get it finished. There's not much left in there, but I feel like if I introduce it into the project, it's going to be a reminder and it's going to motivate me to actually use it instead of just leaving it on a shelf and being like, oh yeah, I should do that today, and then forgetting about it. I feel like actually bringing it into the project is really going to focus my energy on it a little bit more than I already am. So that's the plan. I'm hopeful that maybe by like the next update, that would be really nice, but potentially the one after that and this one will be finished. Well, the one after that one will be the finale, but I really want to have this one finished. So that one's going to come in, and you know, my product numbers in this project are diminishing, so rotating one in is not going to hurt. So that is my update on my team project pen. I am happy with how I'm going. I don't think there's going to be too many more products finished before the end of the year, but I'm going to continue to work on and update you with my progress. I think the products that were going to be finished this year have probably already been done. There's probably only going to be maybe like 2 or 3 more finished between now and the end of the year. But we will continue to update you. I will let you know how I'm going on my products next month. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you let me know down in the comments how you were doing and how you're doing on any of your project pans that you're currently working on. Also, while you're down there, make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date on my future project pan updates or any of my intros that are going to start rolling through as we get towards the end of the year. And that's it for this video, beautiful. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.